everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com.
Well, in today's news, active positive COVID-19 cases rises to 39, with 92% on the island of Tortola. And the true assessment of the 2021 Anegada Lobster Fest will be revealed 14 days after the event, says Chief Environmental Health Officer Mr. CEHO Michael. And Kittitian native found guilty by a 9-member jury for the 2013 murder of Melbourne Francis. Well, viewers, we get to these and more stories when 284 News return.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangada, Justin Lake, not forgetting Anegada. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Well, welcome everyone. It's Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. I'm Kamal Haynes, coming to you live from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. A happy Wednesday to one and all, and thank you so much for joining us today. Well, viewers, we start today's newscast on the subject of COVID-19. Well, the active positive COVID-19 cases in the British Virgin Islands have jumped to 39 cases, with just over 92% of the overall cases on the mainland of Tortola. Well, this was revealed in a COVID-19 dashboard dated Tuesday, November 30th, which was published by the Ministry of Health. Well, according to the information from that dashboard, of the 39 active cases, 36 were reported on Tortola, 2 on Virgin Gorda, and 1 on the island of Jost Van Dyke. Well, a further detailed breakdown revealed 13 of the cases are local cases, with 14 contacts of these local cases. Well, the remaining cases are from within the travel screening categories, with 7 detected for travel screening, 3 for entry screening day 0, and 2 on entry screening day 7. Well, the dashboard also indicated that at the time, no persons were hospitalized for the COVID-19 virus. Well, the report further updated residents of the vaccination status of the territory, while stating that some 18,288 persons were both fully and partially vaccinated. Well, of that sum, 16,704 persons are fully vaccinated. And to date, the total COVID-19 related deaths stands at 38. Well, viewers, we move on to our second story, where the island of Anegada. Obviously, viewers, we did see the Lobster Fest over the weekend, but following up with a secondary story where the true assessment of the 2021 Anegada Lobster Fest will be revealed when the 14 days from the weekend of the annual event concludes. Well, this is according to the Chief Environmental Health Officer CEHO Michael, who told 284 News that the factors to determine whether the event was a success from a health perspective are dependent upon the COVID-19 situation of the territory 14 days after the event. Well, Michael was on the island of Anegada performing various health and safety exercises to get businesses prepared ahead of the 2 days of festivities.
We'll see the true assessment at the end of 14 days. 14 days from today, 14 days from yesterday, 14 days from Friday. But generally speaking, I think that the people have made an effort to comply with the COVID-19 control and suppression measures. We have been to all the business places of concern and interest, and we have observed that they try their endeavor best to comply, and where they need improvement, we give them advice and we appeal to the people to comply. So yes, I think that people are wearing a mask, although some of them need to wear more closely fitted masks. But generally speaking, I think the compliance with the measures has been satisfactory. But again, as I said, with a caveat that we will see the best results at the end of 14 days.
Well, meanwhile, weighing in on the success of the Lobster Fest from an economic perspective was District Representative Vincent Wheatley, who said businesses on the sister island were the busiest for the first time in 2 years.
This year was the 9th annual Lobster Fest, and this is the biggest one since, I guess, the pandemic started. So I went around to nearly all the businesses. I missed maybe only one or two because I ran out of time. But it's what I saw. I saw businesses being the busiest probably in almost 2 years. I saw a lot of more locals, even than tourists, patronizing the businesses, having a really good time. I see businesses that were busy, filled the capacity that I haven't seen in a very, very long time. So I was very, very pleased with the turnout. Some folks say it was down from before, naturally. In the age of a pandemic, person going to be a little more cautious about how the crowd builds. And what I really liked about yesterday more than anything else is no one stayed all day at any one place. The persons who were there, it was a truly explore Anegada activity. The persons who were there went from place to place just as I did. And wherever they went, they patronized and they bought drinks or they bought food. And a lot of persons who are repeat Lobster Fest persons brought friends, some of them for the first time.
Well, Willie also touched on the health aspect of the event, stating that businesses and patrons tried where they could to uphold all the COVID-19 protocols.
What I also appreciated about the persons who came, for the most part, they all followed the health protocols. They had the social distancing. They kept to their groups. And when they left their group, they wore their mask and so forth. They used the sanitizing stations. So I was very pleased that the behavior of persons, they weren't rowdy and careless, so to speak.
Well, viewers, that was the 9th District Representative, Honorable Vincent Wheatley. And of course, viewers, for those who would have missed out on the festivities of the Anegada 2021 Lobster Fest, we did carry a number of live segments on Sunday, basically depicting what some of the persons would have missed. So if you just want to recap on what happened over those 2 days events and you want to see what happened on the Sunday leg, feel free to go on our Facebook page at 284 Media and, stream on a couple of those links basically, and you will see some of the festivities that did occur on that day. Well, viewers, up next, Kittitian native found guilty by a 9-member jury for the 2013 murder of Melbourne Francis. And the BVI government has so far spent approximately $500,000 to expatriate illegal immigrants. And they also revealed plans to build a local detention center in the works. Well, we get to these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, Kittitian native Andreas Norford has been found guilty by a 9-member jury for the 2013 murder of Melbourne Francis, which occurred near the Stickett in Long Look, East End, Tortola. Well, this was the verdict handed down by a jury at the High Court following a month-long trial, which commenced late Tuesday, November 30th. Well, Norford is also charged with the murder of Julio Pineda Cesar, which occurred after he allegedly escaped from Her Majesty's prison following the hurricanes in 2017 that damaged the prison's perimeter fence. Well, he was also named among the inmates charged with the recent fatal stabbing of fellow inmate Nikhil Chambers. At least two other men, Caravon Richards and the late Jefferson Joseph, were initially charged with the murder of Francis. However, the court upheld Richards' no-case submission on July 16, 2015, and he walked away a free man. Well, according to the evidence presented during the trial, Norford's co-accused, the late Joseph, allegedly paid Norford $13,000 to kill Francis, who at the time was in the midst of others in the stickette where he was shot multiple times at close range. Well, the probe revealed that the gunman then ran off in the direction of Little Dix Hill. Well, following the murder, Norford allegedly fled from the British Virgin Islands to St. Kitts and had to be extradited back to answer to the charge. In 2017, Joseph was gunned down near the CSY dock in Bogus Bay. Well, moving on, viewers, where the government of the Virgin Islands has spent approximately $500,000 in the year of 2021 so far to expatriate illegal immigrants back to their countries of origin. Well, this is according to Minister of Labour and Immigration Vincent Wheatley, who made a disclosure during a press conference on Friday, November 26. Well, the minister said that the issue of illegal immigrants entering the British Virgin Islands continue to increase with more persons being detected than previously. Well, he said it is an issue that is not only affecting the BVI, but also a number of other regional counterparts.
The issue of migration is a serious problem. I mean, I've seen in the news a few days ago where 27 persons drowned trying to cross from France over to the UK.
Yes.
Just like between Europe and the UK, the borders are very, very porous. It is incredibly difficult to patrol our waters here between BVI from any outside country, whether it be St. Martin or St. Kitts or neighbors. It's a very challenging thing to do. We will try our best to minimize persons coming in. One of the things that we have to do, because for this year so far, we've spent around $500,000 just repatriating these persons. They found some of the detainees, but since since that, they found 15 more illegal immigrants, I think 2 days ago. This is a very serious issue that we have to act on.
Well, Willie also revealed that his government will be aiming to establish a detention center for all immigrants caught in the territory. But this followed at least two separate occasions where it was reported that illegal immigrants from Haiti had escaped custody in a local temporary detention center. Well, the minister said the two of those persons who were later basically caught after they would have escaped were then rushed to the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital to undergo medical attention after breaking their bones to escape custody.
One of the things we hope to do out of the budget is to build a detention center. Because once you have immigrants now, there's no place to put them, illegal immigrants. We are forced to use hotels and private security. It is incredibly expensive, and God forbid, if they end up in court or they end up in medical help. And in fact, two of the persons who were found, I think it was Wednesday, ended up in the hospital because trying to escape, they had their legs broken and so forth. That's an additional expense on the country. So this illegal immigration, and again, persons who are involved in it should refrain from it. This costs the country too much money. So a detention center will be part of the solution, so when they are caught, there's a place to hold them and attend to them while we repatriate them. But it's a very serious challenge for the entire world right now.
Well, in the meantime, Premier Andrew Foy said that the subject of illegal immigration remains a hot topic among the United Kingdom and other overseas territories. Well, he said it was discussed at the recently held Joint Ministerial Council meeting in the United Kingdom, which showed that the other overseas territories are also significantly being impacted by these instances. The Premier also said that to further protect the BVI's borders, he's presently lobbying to have a local Coast Guard established to further deter future perpetrators.
In the JMC meeting, that was a question that was asked and being discussed heavy between the OTs, and is even a more significant issue for the Turks and Caicos, who has a small island but then have millions of persons right next door with Haiti, and their biggest problem is this. So it's something that the whole Caribbean is experiencing more and more. So it's going to take a unified front to deal with it. Hence why also that I called for the introduction of a Coast Guard team that I'll be following up with that has met, I would say, tacit approval from the governor, and together he and I will be working towards how do we bring this into fruition so that we can even have a extra layer of our people in the Virgin Islands serving in their own Coast Guard.
Well, viewers, that was Premier and Minister of Finance and Tourism, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy. And just to add, viewers, I'm sure that the topic of having a local Coast Guard, as discussed with the Premier just now, would bring somewhat of a more assurance to basically help to deter future instances of illegal immigrants making their way to the territory, as a local Coast Guard would ultimately means that there will be 24-hour surveillance on the territory porous border. Well, viewers, up next, the BVI spared in the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, which finished with 21 named storms, including 4 major hurricanes. And we also see on the regional scene international superstar Robyn Rihanna Fenty officially made a national hero of her native land, Barbados. While we get to these stories, when 284 News return.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, the British Virgin Islands was spared in the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, which concluded with a total of 21 named storms with 4 major hurricanes. Well, acting director at the Department of Disaster Management, Jason Penn, said that while the Virgin Islands was fortunate not to be impacted from the major storms this year, others in the Atlantic basin were not so fortunate. Well, 284 News spoke to Penn, who said that the 2021 season was the 7th consecutive year with a named storm occurring prior to June 1st, which was Tropical Storm Anna, which formed on May 22nd. Take a listen.
Well, as the forecasters had indicated, they did indicate that we would have had an above active season for this year. Typically, they start to work on the forecast maybe or a few months out, and they adjust them as they get closer to the high point of the season. One of the things that they did this year is they started, I would say, they started the season a little bit earlier in terms of outside of the official date of June. They maybe started monitoring as early as May. And as you can see, we did have an actual system that developed in May, which from their perspective, one of the reasons they started monitoring earlier than usual. Usually once they give us an indication that the season is going to be above average, typically that's when we begin to look at our plans internally in terms of our readiness, as well as in terms of the readiness of the civil service through the civil service, and maybe extending more into the territory through, and there's the annual NDMC meeting that is held. And that's where government and the different stakeholders would come together and kind of discuss what they have in place and what things they would need to improve before the actual high point of the season.
Well, the acting director also spoke to some of the plans executed by the DDM throughout the hurricane season.
One of the areas we look at is in terms of not just our plans, but plans of different departments, different agencies, and also encouraging the business and the private sector to start to look and review their plans as well. Just at the beginning of the season, other things we also concentrate on is the systems that we have in terms of alerting and driving information towards persons. We review shelter capacity. As you know, we're still going through COVID. That capacity has been significantly reduced based on the number of persons that can now stay within the shelters, looking at alternative means of sheltering persons if it's needed, and also maybe ramping up public outreach in terms of educating persons to maybe things they should start to think on in terms of developing their own household plans, developing their own emergency kits, and so forth. Some of the things that we look at just before, once these numbers come out for the season.
Well, despite the BVI being spared this hurricane season from the impact of any major storm, Penn said that the DDM was still actively taking notes from other countries in the region on how they tackle their respective disasters during the season.
Most of the supplies are non-perishable items. So, of course, it's just a matter of checking them and they can be used for the next season. And most of the supplies that are perishable, or at least what we'd use from in terms of an emergency standpoint, they do have several years that allow them to be reused before having them discarded. So now that the season has come to an end, typically what would be done, I guess, from within an internal standpoint, you'll review and see what has taken place. Bear in mind, even though the Virgin Islands may not have been impacted, we may have had other regions that were fortunate to suffer the same fate. We have our brothers and sisters in Haiti. We know that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they experience the volcanoes. Further south, you have the floods that are affected Guyana. So you typically look at the impacts that would have affected other countries and see, and maybe look at things that they did that were good or great, and that what we can learn from, even though we did not have that particular type of impact.
Well, viewers, this season also saw several long storms, including Sam, which lasted 17 days, and Larry, which lasted 13 days. Well, the DDM also took the time to remind residents that it is also possible for tropical storms to develop outside of the June 1st to November 30th annual hurricane season, and they should continue to review their plans and assess emergency stocks regularly. Well, viewers, we do hope that obviously that the season next year is similar to that of this year, where we are spared once again, despite the fact that it's only 6 months away. We do hope that we are blessed as well. Well, viewers, moving on to our regional story, where the Right Excellent Robyn Rihanna Fenty is now Barbados' second living national hero and second ever female national hero after receiving the honor during a specially held ceremony in Barbados on Tuesday. Well, the National Honors Ceremony was held on the anniversary of Barbados' political independence from Britain in 1966 and the inaugural day of Barbados becoming a parliamentary republic. Well, the ceremony recognized several members of the Barbadian public who were selected based on their contribution to the island. Well, speaking after being awarded the highest honor of Barbados, Rihanna said it is a day that she will never forget.
Good morning, Barbados. This is a day that I would never, ever forget. It's also a day that I never saw coming. Barbadians are proud people, you know? We are probably the proudest people I know. And no matter where I go in the world, I take that pride with me. No matter where we go, the world is going to know that we Bajan to the bone. No matter if it's the accent, the constant missing shafet, the sunshine, the people, man, the people. Y'all are the true heroes of Barbados. And I take y'all with me wherever I go. I'm so proud to be a Bajan. I'm going to be a Bajan till the day I die. This is still the only place I've ever called home. I love Barbados. I love you guys. And I pray that the youth continue to push Barbados forward. I'm so proud of you. Prime Minister Mia Motley, thank you so much for honoring me in this way. I have traveled the world and received several awards and recognitions, but nothing compares to being recognized in the soil that you grew in. So I thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Well, meanwhile, Prime Minister of the Republic of Barbados, Mia Motley, said that the island is in the process of transitioning into a journey that continues at a new level.
396 years of a system of government is not 2 years. And it is with that in mind that I am conscious that we have a responsibility as of December 1st, tomorrow, to ensure that our nation moves as one. As I said here at the opening of Golden Square Freedom Park on Saturday, that we also, in all that we do, use this symbol of this Freedom Park to remind us that forever we must see people, hear people, and feel people. And it is against that backdrop, therefore, that I've come this morning to share with you. I want first and foremost to thank His Royal Highness Prince Charles for coming and joining us for the ceremony last night, to allow us to show the world and to reflect as a people who we are. A people proud, but a people determined and confident that we shall pursue our destiny.
Well, viewers, Barbados joins Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Dominica in attaining Republican status after gaining their independence from Britain back in 1966. Viewers, before we go, I want to touch on a little sports where we have the Pan Am Junior Games in Cali, Colombia, presently ongoing, where we saw Zara Brown finishing fourth with a non-advancing time of 11.87 seconds in her heat in the 100-meter semifinals. That was yesterday. After the event, Zara, the 19-year-old sprinter, basically said, and I quote, "I feel okay about the race. As a season opener, it gives me a chance to see where I am and what I have on going forward, well, both for indoors and outdoors. It's been a good experience for me and I can't wait to be back," end quote. Well, BVI coach Ralston Henry noted that this was Zara's first race after being laid off for so long, and a good race for opening the seasons early. He said, and I quote, "I am looking forward to a lot more to come later in the season and ahead of the Commonwealth Games," end quote. Well, viewers, today the BVI will have 8 more athletes competing in races today in the 100-meter finals on December 1st, which is today. And tomorrow there's a set of athletes who include 100-meter sprinter Jaleel Kroll, Thad Letsom sailing in the ILCA7 laser in the men's one-person dinghy event, and the 3x3 basketball team comprising of DeAndre Mitchum, Stefano Paul, and Michael Richardson, and also they have Shaquem Tyson will also compete tomorrow, December 2nd. Well, Letson will be racing against some of the region's best sailors aged 17 and 22 from 14 countries. What a 3x3 basketball team, who are placed in Group A along with Colombia, Venezuela, and Puerto Rico, will face Colombia in their first match. Viewers, we will keep you updated on those results for tomorrow's newscast. Well, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Hayes, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, viewers. Have a great evening.